There's the pile of parts. You can see where I did some heavy duty rounding over and breaking of the corners and stuff on this, which was actually an accident. It's because these actually sit flat on the top of the where the bucket goes, and I wanted the bottom of these to be, you know, flat and not rounded over, but whatever, did it to myself. So there we have the thing partially reassembled. Sorry, let me back up and get it on the shot. It's partially reassembled, and I'm doing half laps essentially. So the back piece here, because of the way it sits, I got the widest part of this board in this, in this way, in this orientation. So I took this, and this is just scrap plywood I had. I was trying to find another piece of this that I could have used, but I didn't have enough of it that was long enough. So this piece of plywood here, these are 3 1.5 inch strips of plywood. They're all the same length. They all got cut out of the same piece. So this one's going to go across the back. You can see it's just long enough. So I have a little bit of trimming to do on this side. So I just cut kind of a full depth half lap here. Alright, so all I got to do on this piece is trim it. And then on the narrow side, there's nothing. Well, there's a smaller half lap cut. So now I'm going to cut the other part of the half lap on this piece of plywood so that this piece sits flush along this way. And the same thing on this side. They sit flush. And obviously these are a little longer because this is a shorter side. And I'll trim those, and they'll get cut on this side too. Once I get those cut properly, they're going to be glued and screwed into place. All right, as well as this one. And yes, I was in a hurry, and I did not cut these as tight as I could have. I will make it up with a little bit of fakery when I'm done, when it's all said and done. And I don't think, well, you'll tell something there, but at least I'll fill in you'll tell there's something wrong, but I'll fill in the gap. I actually did that on my table saw with a standard blade with many passes, cleaned up with a chisel. And I went back to the table saw because the chisel, not a chisel. I lost my chisel. I don't have a chisel, with a file. And I ended up, I think, the second time I went back to the table saw, I didn't get it quite lined up right, and I took a little smidgen of some wood out of this part of the half lap, and obviously you can see there. So I screwed that up myself. I'm sorry about that. These were cut in the table saw. This particular part, because all 4 pieces, all right, have the same depth half lap dado, really cut. These were actually lined up and then cut with the router. But when I went to the table saw to cut these 2 deeper ones, that's when I screwed up and made it too loose. Anywho, that's where I'm at so far. I'm going to paint it black and stain it with this stuff. I don't know if you... Yeah, it's a pickle jar. See that red color? This is just some old stuff I had from a project back in Jacksonville that I never even used. So I'm going to just use it on this, and I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to try like pinstriping and flames, and I don't know. I'm going to lay out some drawings with some tape and then just throw some stain down and some different spray paint. I got some black spray paint, all stuff I haven't spent money on. And then I'll just give it a clear coat with some polyurethane and goof around with that a little bit. And if it looks like crap at the end, well, it's just shop furniture. That's what you practice on. And if it looks kind of cool, then I'll have some cool looking shop furniture. Good for me. That's it for now. See you all later.